Hello everyone, welcome back. It's the High Mage. We're just running a 21 Nightmare Dungeon. Kind of gonna overview the gameplay of this build. 'Cause the other one was just the build video was only a Malignant Tunnel. Kind of the way you want to play this build is just rushing essentially. We got our 10 stack of the Hammer of the Ancients. It's gonna up our Fury generation. The quicker you try to go, the better. So you're going to want to avoid like death pulse. The shadow drifting shade is kind of annoying too, honestly, but it doesn't affect us that much because the goal of this build is to just rush through. Like I fucked up right now. I let my stacks go away, so now I'm going to fill it for a minute. Not much has changed build-wise. The Paragon is just I'm slowly building. By the time I hit 80, my Paragon should be in good shape. I'll put out another video as well. Probably schedule it for later in the day, but I'll just do tips for leveling to 50 and after 50. Whenever whenever we push into tier 3, tier 4, things to do to make it easier. But anyways, we're just simply running the bash Barb right now. It's a slay all enemies. Forgotten Ruins. I think this is considered A tier or S tier. I think it's an A tier because it just spread out a little bit. Alder's Cave is supposed to be the best, but I've been having a good time with, I think it's Akar's Ruins or something. I don't know. We'll see if I pick up one of the sigils for that one. That one's the best. I just ran that back to back about 4 times. It takes about 7 to 10 minutes a run if you're taking your time a little bit. If you're running like something stronger, maybe, or faster, or, rogue, druid, you might even be able to just shit through that dungeon in like 5 minutes. Man, where is it? These fucking dickheads. Would never be ashamed of picking up the pylons, the conduits, or not the conduits, whatever, the shrines. We're running in Bieber on one of our Paragon boards now, the 3rd board I picked up. It's damage while healthy, so since we're already running damage while fortified, and that doesn't count until like 50% health, we might as well be running in Bieber, honestly, because we're trying to maintain full health constantly. Where's the elite? I must have shredded him. Obviously, big groups of enemies, you're going to have a better time just laying them out. Man, I don't know where this guy with the towers is, because he's fucking pissing me off already. It's one of the most worst fucking elites to deal with. I would say as far as defense goes, we're not running anything. We're not running really too much. I think on the pants right now, I can't remember what was on them, but I'm running damage reduction from basic attacks for however many seconds, 2, 3, 5, couldn't fucking say. Slay alls are good. Nightmares are good in general. They drop a whole lot of items, probably at this point, while you're like sub 80. I would say by the time you're 80, you usually have like a majority of your items 750 plus. Like at this point, I've found, don't get me wrong, I found plenty of fucking items that are above 750. I've even found probably multiple 800s for like every slot on Barb, but if the stats are not optimal, Like, I'm not taking anything that has 2 resistances because I can't roll it off. Like, if I grab something and it has 1 resistance and 2 of the stats are good, then I'll consider it. Like right now, as soon as I get rid of these fucking enemies, I'll pull open my tab, my inventory tab, and I have an 800 plus axe that I'm gonna switch on to my other 2-hand slot, and that should be a nice little DPS boost. That's the main thing you gain by going up an item level is higher DPS, like flat out the just the base value of damage the weapon does. And this is easily possible with higher tier dungeons too, but this one's a gold find, and I'm trying to, I guess I don't really need to roll the axe any higher. I got a pretty decent strength roll on it. I just need baleful fragments, and the gold find is, I feel like, usually drops a little bit extra of everything since they removed magic find from the pool. I don't know, they stealth nerfs, stealth buffs, they do all kinds of stupid shit like that. Here's the axe we're talking about. It's 815 vulnerable damage, damage while berserking, critical strike damage, all good. If we take a look at the one I have, CC damage is okay. The berserking damage, we're picking that up on this one. But I have DOT. That's nothing. That's nothing. We don't do any damage over time. We can. It's easy to come over here to the Shift C. We could throw on this and just automatically do bleeding damage, but I feel like that really slows you down, and then you got to run some specific aspects to even make it like useful, I guess, where stunning pops all their bleed, because it can stack up fairly quick. Sarot's Lair, I do believe that's an S tier. Maybe I'll make a dungeon tier list, or just any of you that are only sticking to smaller channels probably aren't picking up on those tier lists, dungeon tier lists, or I don't know what other tier lists they have, like probably a class guide, but so far I've only run, I guess, what's considered the 2 worst builds. My preseason was a Sork, and now I'm running a Barb, so you can imagine. Oh shit, I'm out of potions. We're fucked. There we go, we got a chance. Now, some of you might be saying it shouldn't be this hard to be doing, what is essentially the lowest tier 4 nightmare dungeon, but you can take a look at the Paragon board and see I don't exactly have too much going on glyph-wise. 3 glyphs. I'm kind of just filling in as I go. That way, that way I just pick up the max of each stat as I go, essentially. We're running 2-handed bludgeon damage with 30% times overpower. I have been calling this an overpower build because we're getting a lot of guaranteed overpower. I know we're seeing mostly crits, but crits is good. What do I got to put in right here? Just grab that. Grab the rare node for extra strength. Barb is probably one of the easier classes you're gonna just start trying to do some theory crafting shit on, because realistically, until you get to the glyph board and you start having a bunch of requirements, I do believe my 3rd board is calling for 360 dex or willpower. But we'll get there. Like, it slowly goes up as you level anyways. You get those extra points from the gates. I'm running some choice pieces that have either willpower or dex. I might have phased a few out just because I needed to improve that item slot desperately. Up until probably right up to 70, I was running even more pieces like sub 700, which, as we all know, 700 is the last tier breakpoint. So if you don't get to 700, then you can't upgrade to the next bracket. So fuck, I even probably have more than one of those right now. Sub 7. This is okay. It's sacred. It's only 706, but we know we're in the highest roll bracket, and we're missing, from an 800 item, a maximum 5%, depending on the stat. Got top tier gloves, chest piece, helmet. Like, far from an optimal amount of items. Or not an optimal amount of items, but far from optimal items. I do have a few of those pieces stashed away, and I'm just kind of, you can see most of all my whites are like 750 almost, or this one goes over 750, 780, 770, 752, but that's getting replaced with an 815. Both of my rings go over 750 with their upgrades. Like, if you got all 750s, you're probably going to be set to be pushing higher nightmare tiers, and then if you're min-maxing your Paragon board as you go, which you're welcome to do, improve on this build any way you can. I just like the guaranteed overpower Druid. I know Druid had a bunch of their build was overpowered because of their overpower capability to just pull up a shitload of it. Like, I want to say in the preseason I was seeing like 1200 overpower damage Druids, so that's pretty cool. Oh fuck, I'm full. Anyways, like and subscribe. I'll put out a harder dungeon later. This is just the one I had. A slay all dungeon, preferable, easy, pretty linear dungeon. What was this? Forgotten Ruins S tier, I'm pretty sure. Basically come in, kill everything in this area, come up, or maybe it's up to here, I'm not sure, but it's pretty linear. There's not a bunch of back and forth bullshit. Bash Barb F to fucking for the win.